How are you buying into this new feeling of Carlton and it's a new vibe? And because for me, people have been asking over the last few weeks, and yeah, I'm excited. But now that it's all settled, I'm kind of ready to I remember how disappointing this year and really the last few years have been. So yeah, I'm excited. But like, has your excitement waned at all?
I think I'm a bit of an opposite to you, Terry, in terms of that. It's been pretty strange. You guys know that I wasn't a big supporter of Voss at the start when they appointed him,
Yep.
but what I'm finding myself more and more confident in more every day is I'm more confident in the group, in the collective now than I am just about Voss.
Hmm.
Because I finally feel like they've got that right, that balance, that structure, that team environment around a coach right. So I'm actually, I might be wrong, of course, but I'm quietly confident now. I'm not saying we're going to win the flag next year, anything like that, but I'm confident in the setup and I'm confident in the people. And even though I may not be a big supporter of Voss on an individual level, I support the vision and I support the group around him
Hmm.
because that team. If he's got weaknesses, I'm confident in those around him that they'll help him. A completely different situation at Tigi.
Hmm. The change was an actual change this time around, right?
Well, it feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's
I
just
mean,
let's just hope it's not another typical Carlton, but I feel like it is different. I really do.
yeah. Pom?
That's spot on. I think that's the problem. And I think, like, alluding to your first question as well, I think sometimes you get change that's not real change. That's what we've had at Coward, isn't it? Because you've got to remember David Teague was the cone setter outer of Brendan Bolton. So it was really Brendan Bolton replaced with a more aggressive Brendan Bolton. But it was masked as this huge change. Huge change. This is all new, all singing and dancing. Bit like United. United were getting frustrated with foreign coaches and randoms being thrown into the job. They stuck at home. People loved it. Similar story to Teague. Caretaker, got a few cheap wins. Everyone jumped on the bandwagon. They sold you. He used to be a player. But this time it seems like a whole new change, doesn't it? Everyone's gone bar Luke Power and one development coach. And it does feel like even the way that the players are talking, the wording of the team, it's all changed. So I think it is hard not to be optimistic because it's the first time since I've been here we've done something totally different to what we usually do. Usually we just do half a change and then tell you everything's changed. And you sit back and go, nothing's really changed. You've just changed the names.
I think that's on the back of the review, mate. It seems like we're actually addressing proper issues now. It's not just change for the sake of change. So
Mm,
I'm actually pretty confident, boys. I am.
yeah. I am confident. I am excited. I'm just so damaged, to be
Well,
honest.
come on, Tez.
Oh,
That's
we
the
all are,
truth.
aren't we?
That's the truth. That's the honest truth. Because I don't know. I'm sort of placing a lot of weight. Maybe I shouldn't be, but like I'm placing a lot of weight on the first 4 or 5 games of the year. Because like I feel like when you get a new regime in, you've got to win a few games to just really build some belief in what they're doing on the field, game plan wise. It's kind of what we weren't able to do over the last few years, or we haven't been able to do for a while, to be honest. But I believe in the coaching group and the group as a whole that we have right now. I'm just mindful of getting into that 0-2 hole again, 0-3 hole again.
Yeah, mate. Well, I'm with you. It's bloody scary, and I don't know what's going to happen if we do find ourselves at 0-3. But I'm so curious to see what sort of dynamic the coaching is going to, the group's going to be in now. Like the dynamic, because I look at Fagan at Brisbane, and it's said that Fagan isn't a big tactician.
Hmm.
It's said that he is more of a man manager. He's more of a relationship guy, and he leaves that other stuff to his assistants.
Hmm.
Now, of course, the head coach is always going to be tactically okay, but I kind of feel this is the sort of setup we're going to have now with Vossi, because it seems like they appointed him for that man management style, and the other guys will take care of the rest. So I'm just very interested to see. I feel like we haven't seen this before at Carlton. So
I think I
yeah,
think
what
I
do you think about that?
I think I prefer it that way. I don't know because you have 4 or 5 coaches in your group. I think I prefer your head coach to be the lead motivator, message sender, as opposed to the lead tactician? Because I have this idea in my head, this preconceived idea that if you're a super tactician, I don't know what your people skills are necessarily like. I'm not sure if there's many coaches that have both, the super intricate tactical side of things and the ability to really connect with someone, on a real deep level and motivate them. So I look at Vossi as the motivator and someone like Ashley Hansen as the real tactician. Pom, what about you?
Well, I think when you look at other sports, don't you? Like, even though a lot of other sports put more onus on the head coach, it is a team game back doors. You look at Fergie and Quiroz, right? The most famous combination in the UK. Carlos was meant to be the tactical genius, the guy that could foresee things that happened before they happened. And Fergie was the guy that maximised the players, got 100 when they only had 90 to give. And I think it's kind of alien in the AFL because we do look at it very archaic, don't we? One man and the other five guys are just around there just to teach them how to kick and handball. Modern day sport has people, aces in the place. You look at work, you might have the greatest team leader, but around him, he has skills that he can leech off that make up his team. And I think that's important. So, like Solo's put out here, Goodwin, there's an issue with Goodwin. Goodwin, if you listen to Melbourne, when they brought in Choco, the talk was they knew what they wanted to do with the midfield. They couldn't find the words and the application on the training track to take vision into reality. And evidently Choco got there and said, right, what he means is X, Y, Z. You do this, you do that, you do this. And suddenly the game plan became a reality. And that's quite interesting that Carlton have got a communication specialist in now, a tactical specialist. You've got different coaches in the midfield and the back line, all development coaches as well, with specialisation in talking to young players, which is very interesting. So you can see Carlton have kind of maybe focused, like you say, Chad, instead of going after one big name, they've said, let's get 8 little names that make a big name, that make a big football brain. And I think it's going to be interesting because if these guys fail now, they'll fail for the rest of their lives. This is Pom's big call. They fail this year with what's around them. They're failures for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's kind of where my fear comes from. But I do have a supreme confidence in them to just, surely they have that self pride and that self, determination and motivation to just understand that forget about, make or break or whatever. It's literally just time. Like, it's time to grow up. We all go through it. We all make mistakes. We all fail in our lives. And some of us take longer than others to learn certain lessons. I just feel like as a whole, everyone's going to be learning lessons. Even the coach, even the head coach, Michael Voss, he's coming into a situation where he's now going to prove that he's learned from his lessons. So that's where my confidence comes from. But being the tragic that I am, I have the fear.
I'm with you, mate. I'm with you.
I'd hope that all 40-odd players on our list, all 38, look at Melbourne's 38. And whether we believe it or not, I hope they look at the opposite 38 and say, I'm just as good as you. Do you know what I mean? I can beat you. And that should hold hope. We've always matched up well with Melbourne. And they will see what Melbourne have done. And said, why can't we be that guy? Why can't we be them? Why can't we this year be them?
Yeah.
I think we've got just as much talent, to be honest.
Yeah.
But talent's so overrated, isn't it? It's just so overrated. It's more than that. You got to be the sum of your parts. Yeah. It should probably be a new slogan.
Spot on. You do have to be the sum of your parts. And then ultimately, the competition as a whole, it's in pretty good nick. It's a really even competition right now.
So remember, I don't know if you remember, mate, but I messaged you start of last year, and I was like, why can't we be that team that just shocks the competition just one time? Just once. Can't we be that team that everyone's shocked by their improvement by? Far out.
Listen, man, it'll make 2022... When it is the year, whenever the year is that we do win the flag, or not even, whenever the year is where we next make finals, which we believe should be hopefully 2022, but whenever that year is, it's going to be extra enjoyable for us. There's no doubt about it because we're so much more connected now, and I do hope that, when we do make the climb into the 8, it's not just a scraping in, finishing 8th, with one game to go, got to win. I don't want the heartache. Just get in, finish 6th, just climb up,
Yeah, I actually reckon it's going to happen. It'll happen all at once. It'll be like we make it to the granny and we win it, because I just think our history lends itself to that. We're kind of like Real Madrid. Once they broke that drought and got to the Champions League final, they won. It's just in your history. So that's the Carlton swagger in me, and that's what I'm going to back in. I'm going to back that in. That sort of success.
I felt that when we beat Richmond in the 2013 final, because it was kind of like we didn't really deserve to be there. We got there on a technicality, but the history of the Carlton Football Club was on our side. We make finals. We're a successful team. We've got that subconscious, ingrained thought process of we are Carlton, we win finals. Whereas you look at Collingwood, if anything can go wrong in a granny, it will go wrong because historically they only lose grand finals. So I like to think that there's something in that.